Good morning, everybody. We will be taking up cognitive ability questions today. These questions are mainly useful for NATA design and NIFT, basically any design or architecture related entrance exams. The level of these questions is kind of between easy to moderate, okay? So I'm not taking the difficult ones today. So you are here listed 4 different traditional objects which are handmade. And they're made up of clay, willow or wicker, wood and brass. So the first image is of course clay and part is also wicker. This is wicker or willow. This object, second object. This is made up of purely wood and this is made up of brass. What you have to find is to which state do these objects belong to. आपको ये ढूंढना है कि ये objects किस state को belong करता है. Now the method that I generally follow is students will write their options and personally send a message on in the chat. Okay, so you will personally write it and you won't address to everybody, so you just send it to me. Okay. The answer that you feel is correct, and I will tell you whose answer is correct and whose is wrong. We'll follow this format for solving all the basically all the questions here. So you attempt first, and then I will disclose the answer and I will explain. Isme explanation nahi hai, but I will just tell you what is the one. Okay, so I will look into the chat box. You just keep sending me the answers there. Yesha, wrong answer. Srushti, wrong answer. Sanchi, correct answer. Yesha, correct answer. Anvi, wrong answer. Anshi, wrong answer. Kavya, wrong answer. Ria, wrong answer. Manush, Darsh, wrong answer. Tanvi, wrong answer. Aneri, wrong answer. Rishabh, wrong answer. Okay. Yeah, okay. Trisha, right answer. All right. In this case, the correct answer is the option B. The first one will be Nagaland, the second one Jammu, the third one Chhattisgarh, and the fourth one would be Andhra. We are not going to solve this. I told you this is how it, this is the thing in this particular case. The next part is what we will have an explanation later. Here you are given 5 different sets of lines. Okay. आपको यहाँ पे 5 different lines दिख रही है. All the lines are of same length. उनका जो size है same है. But their thickness is different. Size is same, but thickness is different. And they are drawn in perspective with respect to the distance from the viewer. Which of the following statements will be true? Now, in this case, when it is given to you that the lines are in perspective, what it means is the line which is farther away from you will be smaller versus the line which is closer to you will be bigger. But their thickness varies. उनका जो thickness है that is varying, that is changing. So in perspective also, there is another rule related to distance. Distance and thickness is the one which is of smaller thickness is generally considered to be away from you, and the one which is of thicker distance is considered to be closer to you. Which means that the line which is smaller, the line which is smaller and which is thicker, it will be much farther away, and the thickness, actual thickness उसका जितना आपको दिख रहा है उससे भी बड़ा होगा. Okay, this is your clue basically. So in this case, wait, before you start answering, in this case, one or more options are correct. I forgot to mention that. एक से ज़्यादा option इसमें correct है. All right. Now you can start answering. Yesha and Anvi, your answers are partially correct. You need to find another option which is correct, basically. Ria, Tanvi, correct answer. Aneri, wrong answer. Anvi, partially correct answer. Kavya, right answer. Mokshil, partially correct answer. Anshi, correct answer. Srushti, wrong answer. Yesha, wrong answer. Manush, correct answer. Twisha, correct answer. Rishabh, wrong answer. Lavya, wrong answer. Meera, partially correct answer. Diya, wrong answer. Sanchi, wrong answer. Yesha, correct answer. Somebody is talking. Meera, can you mute yourself? Meera, can you? Yeah, thank you so much. Okay. Khushbu, partially correct answer. Trisha, right answer. All right. So in this case, the correct answer is option A and option D. Now, why am I saying A and D are correct is, it says, if you look at line one, which says line 1 is the thickest line of all, it actually is the thickest line across. But the rule says that even if it says every line is of the same length, and the thickness, as the object is farther away, its thickness, if I assume that all the lines are of the same thickness, the object which is farther away will look the thinnest. Okay. Now, if the line A, if I assume that line A is the thickest, and it is also farther away because it's the shortest line, which means line A सबसे दूर है और वो सबसे thick दिख रहा है, which means actual उसका thickness इससे भी ज़्यादा बड़ा होगा. So it is naturally correct that line A will be the thickest line of all. Option B says 4 lines are of the same thickness, which is wrong, because if you compare option क्या बोल रही हूँ, the line 1 and the line 4, they look roughly the same. I mean, there's my partial difference, like there's a very slight difference in their lengths, but their thickness is drastically different. So, which implies that ये option B आपका गलत है, because if the line would have been the same thickness, 4 और 1 का जो actual thickness है, जो अभी दिख रहा है, perceptible difference है, should be same. It is not. That's where option B is wrong. The third option, line 2 and 3 have the same thickness. Line 2 and line 3, they have the same thickness. In this case, line 2 is thicker, line 3 is thinner. Like I said, the way I implied for option 1, if the line is farther away, it is shorter. If the line is close, it is bigger. And uska if the thickness as were of 3 and 2 would be the same, 3 would look more thicker than 2, which is not the case. So वो भी गलत है. The last option, line 3, is closest line of all to the viewer, which is correct because that is the biggest line. So that naturally line 3 will be the closest, because as you move away from the perspective, you become smaller, and as the object moves closer to the viewer, the object appear bigger. इसमें सबसे biggest line is 3, so that's why option D, the last option, option D, is correct, which is line 3, closest line to the viewer. All right. Any doubts? Any questions in this? Okay, fine. You can ask, okay? If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay? I'll explain.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yeah?
What's the right answer?
Option A or both. Option A and option D are right answer. So many a times in design and even in architecture, there are questions asked where two options or more than two options are also correct. So I had told, I don't know if you joined later or not, but I had told in the starting only that this is a question where more than one option is correct. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So A and D in this case are correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Now you are given here, this is a figure of counting the right angle triangles. You're given this figure. You try attempting it once and then we'll solve it together. Okay? Option is given A, B, C, D. यहाँ पे number दिए आपको. You're supposed to find right angled triangles. Okay? Trisha, if this answers option that you have chosen here, it's for this question, then it is wrong. Kavya, correct answer. Riya, correct answer. Manush, wrong answer. Twisha, correct answer. You, correct answer. Yesha, wrong answer. Tanvi, correct answer. Dia, wrong answer. Khushbu, correct answer. Virja, wrong answer. Anshi, Manush, Lavya, correct answer. Palak, wrong answer. Vaibhavi, correct answer. Darsh, wrong answer. Trisha, correct answer. All right. It's okay, there are a few people more. Shanchi, Anvi, wrong answer. Okay, let's solve this now. 1 second. Yeah. Okay. So in this case, first things first, we'll say that, okay, which are the 1 second. Yeah, which are the right angles which are formed by these shapes, the bigger ones. ऐसे आपको 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So such big right angle triangles you can find here at all these 8 spaces. So 8 right angle triangles like this. Then I will say which are the right angle triangles which are formed by these smaller shapes, or these smaller shapes, or these smaller shapes. Okay? ऐसे भी 8 मिलेंगे आपको. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. The next question I will ask is, okay, besides this, which are the right angle triangles which are formed by more than 4, 5, 6 shapes? So I will say, okay, let me see. There are shapes such as, you are able to see the magenta colored lines, hopefully, like this. So ऐसे आपको 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one will be again like that. 4. ऐसे 4 मिलेंगे आपको. Sorry, I forgot to write 8 here. पहले internal small 8. And besides that, there will be other shapes which are formed like this, which are same pattern but for the bigger rectangle. So likewise, 4 more shapes getting formed. This yields, and if I add all the, besides that, there are no other right angle triangles of what I counted. 8, 8, 4 floors. So 8 plus 8, 16, 16 plus 4, 20, and 20 plus 4, 24. So the correct answer is 24. Any doubts? Any questions here?
Ma'am,
Huh?
if you're joining, the outer and the inner, like one outer and one inner, even then we could get 8 triangles.
Where?
Could I draw?
Yeah, you can draw.
Like this one.
That I counted. That one I counted. I counted that first. वो red वाला दिख रहा है आपको? वैसे 8 हो गए. That I have already counted in the 8. That line that you see inside, that is for that triangle which you drew.
Okay.
Okay? Any confusion? Any doubts here? Okay, chalo. We'll move to the next one now. This is a question which says, you're given this artifact. It's a wooden artifact. Wood is the material, okay? It's not metal. It is made of wood only. There are, this is made using traditional tools, which are handmade, and skills and processes. You have to identify the correct set of operations required to make this. You're given options here of performing. उसमें drilling, chiseling, casting, forming, punching, milling, finishing, finishing and punching again, I said, came again. So itne sare options diye hai, and then there are various options given. What you have to find is which option or which sequence is correct for making this kind of artifact, which is made using the material wood. No metal is used here. Kavya and Trisha, was this for this? Are your option for this? If your option are for this particular question, then they are wrong. Oh, wait. Sorry, they are correct. They are correct. Wait. Tanvi, Yesha, Vaibhavi, Riya, correct answer. Darsh, Palak, Lavya, Manush, correct answer. Anshi, correct answer. Like, Vishwa, wrong answer. Like I said, okay, great. You are able to answer. Rishabh, correct answer. You all are able to answer correctly. Good. The correct answer, very well recognized, is the option C. Here. The option C, which involves drilling, chiseling, cutting, and finishing. The options which suggest casting, punching, forming, milling, all these options are related to metal. And you should actually look at once के milling क्या होता है metal में. Punching, what is punching? Punching is literally punching the metal with, like you have a punch, paper punch. It's literally making holes or making some shapes in metal. That's what punching is about. Forming is where a die is gotten, as where through a die a kind of a form is casted in metal. It's basically molded in that form. Milling is again associated. Forming can be associated with plastic also. Milling is basically carving the metal through some kind of friction. I mean, rather me describing, it's much better that you look at these operations. But this kind of questions can be asked where you are shown an object which is traditional or which is also modern, and you might be able to guess the process used to perform that or to get that form. Okay. So besides the option which is drilling, chiseling, cutting, and finishing, please look at other options like sanding. What is the process of sanding? What is the process of forming, punching, milling, and casting? Just look at it once. All right. So we'll move to the next one now. Here you are given 4 different kinds of chairs. You have to find which of the following statements are true. In this case, there is a possibility that one or more option is correct. It can be one option, it can be one or more options also. Okay, I need to find 22. It's 1025. Yesha, correct answer. Heer, correct answer. Kavya, Vishwa, correct answer. Shrujal, correct answer. Tanvi, wrong answer. Lavya, correct answer. Ria, wrong answer. Anvi, Trisha, Rishabh, right answer. Vaibhavi, wrong answer. Sanchi, correct answer. Dia, Anshi, Naishi, Mokshil, correct answer. Khushbu, wrong answer. Manush, wrong answer. Darsh, wrong answer. The correct answer, okay. Palak and Aditya, right answer. The correct answer here is option B. So what it says is only. You have to be very careful of these words, okay? Only and along with. So it says only Q has bird element. In this case, only Q has bird element. This is more deer, this is human, and this is also some kind of human traditional art form. Only Q has bird elements. Somebody's mic is on. Shrujal, can you please mute yourself?
Okay.
Okay. Only Q has bird element. R has deer element, which is true. Only S and P has human elements. Besides S and P, no other object has human elements, which is also true. Because this P and S, they look very human in nature. I mean, they literally have hands and legs and face. If I look at all other options, R has deer element, which is true. Q has bird element, it is true. And only P has a human element, which is wrong. Because besides P, S also has human elements. The option C, only Q and S has curved elements. Q and S has curved elements. Q has bird elements and only S has human elements. Again, because of the last part and also the first part, it is wrong because R also has curved elements here. The last option, R and S has animal elements. R and S have animal elements. Q has bird element and only P has human elements. Again, because of the last part, only P has human elements. It's negated. Human are also considered to be social animals, so I might go on the limb and say that maybe the first part is correct. Okay. So here only one answer is correct, although it comes under the category of more than one answer to be correct. Okay. So option B is the correct one here. This is a palki. These are 4 different options of palki which are shown, which are used for travelers which are used by laborers to carry travelers. Okay, we have to find which of the configuration of the palki will work best, which means one answer is correct. Yesha, correct answer. One second. Trisha, Kushbu, correct answer. Shrujal, wrong answer. Vaibhavi, Kavya, Riya, Anshi, Manush, correct answer. Sanchi, wrong answer. Rishabh, wrong answer. Anvi, one second. Anvi, right answer. Naishi, wrong answer. Mokshil, Meera, right answer. Tanvi, wrong answer. Aditya, Aditya, right answer. Lavya, Vishwa, wrong answer. Darsh, right answer. Diya, right answer. Naishi, correct answer. He, wrong answer. Shrushti, wrong answer. Palak, correct answer. So in this case, okay, Sanchi, correct answer. Um, if more than one option is there, so it is one answer is correct here. If okay, Kavya, I think what you're asking is if more than one option is correct, so is it compulsory to tick all answers or any one? You have to click all the answers if more than one answer is correct. If you miss out on if there are 2 answers which are correct, and if you just say that only one option is correct, you will lose grades. So you have to go through all the options very carefully in these kind of questions. Okay. Yeah, so in this case, the correct answer is option C. That's the best configuration for a palki. Why am I saying that now? First thing, one second, yeah. Because the chair is kind of depressed like this, it gives the person who is sitting here, it gives the person who is sitting here some kind of a stability and something to hold on to on the sides. So he feels more protected versus a person who is sitting in the, say, option B, he might feel a little bit unstable because he is very much on top. He does not feel secured. And he or she might feel getting toppled down. So applies with option A and D also, similar cases. Moreover, in option C, the height that I get here is much more, which means it makes easier for the laborers to carry the person, to lift the palki very easily, which is not the case. In option D, you don't get that space at all because that whole rod will be actually resting on the ground. So it is very difficult for the laborers to actually lift it and then put it on their shoulders. So option D's design is the worst of all, which is there, because it not only it gets issues for the laborers, but it also creates issue for the person who is sitting, because there will be a lot of wobbling or even wobble because of this movement, this sagging movement when the person sits, because of that movement, and also the instability that the person feels while he's getting carried. With case of option B, if this kind of pedestal was not there and if it was grounded or some kind of a support was given, which makes that person kind of secured, it would have kind of worked, but this is not a stable configuration. With option A, the only issue is the kind of insecurity that the person, if this handle which is on the ground like this, if they were inverted like that, it might work. But still, I would rather prefer some kind of a higher ground clearance in this part where the laborers would be required to carry. So that's where option C would be the best configuration for a palki design, where it provides that kind of a security because of these braces, and it also provides some kind of a nice good ground clearance for the laborers to pick up the palki. Okay. Any doubts, any questions here? All right. What is drawn here? This is the concept of 3D illusion paintings, which is drawn on a road. So what you see on your left side is a 3D illusion painting, which is painted on the ground, on the road. And on the right side, the 4 options are the 4 options of the plan view. So this is the view that a person who is standing would be seeing. So let me draw it here on picture. So if this is a person who is standing, and then this is the ground, and the painting is actually put it on the ground like this, then this person will be able to, it will be, when the person is standing like this, he will be looking at this painting at that level. But ye wala jo part hai, all the options that you're given is for looking at this painting from the plan view, from the top view, without any perspective getting involved. What will be the painting actually be like a sketch look like? The same painting. I hope the question is clear. Is there any doubt with the question? Okay. Okay. Naishi, Kavya, Ria, Tanvi, Manoj, Yesha, wrong answer. Aditya, correct answer. Vishwa, wrong answer. Second. Virja, Rishabh, wrong answer. Yesha, correct answer. Kavya, correct answer. Okay, Khushbu, I didn't understand. Okay, Khushbu, I'll just explain you. Okay. Heer, wrong answer. Vaibhavi, wrong answer. Palak, right answer. Anvi, right answer. Meera, Lavya, Mokshil, Anshi, wrong answer. Sanchi, I will explain you again. Just give me 5 minutes. Darsh, wrong answer. Vishwa, correct answer. Shrujal, Diya, right answer. Twisha, wrong answer. Mokshil, wrong answer. Okay. In this case, okay, let me first explain the question again. Okay. Twisha, right answer. Okay. So now in this case, what is shown is, okay. If this is the ground, this is a road, okay, for instance, and some person is standing on this road and looking at this kind of painting which is laid on the ground. Now this painting, for instance, is laid in this much part. This painting, for instance, is laid in this much part, okay? What is asked is, we have to, this view which you see on the left side will be looked at by the person at like this. Okay. This is what that person who is standing will be looking at this painting, and this will actually look like this, like it's in 3D, and it is going to pop out. This kind of rocket is going to come out of the road. But this is what that person will look like when he's standing. What you have to find is, in order to make this painting, if the same, how will this sketch, ये जो painting बनाया है, वो road पे उसका sketch कैसा दिखेगा? That's what you have to find. ये प्लान में मुझे उसका रोड जो उसका स्केच बनाना है, तो मैं प्लान व्यू में उसको कैसे दिखो, how will this drawing look like in plan view without any kind of distortion of perspective, so that this object will appear to a standing person like this, which is called 3D art or 3D road art or something like that. Many a times along the traffic lines, in order for vehicles to slow down, these kind of artworks are installed along the road. So the vehicles stop, because from a distance you are able to see something, that something is coming out in 3D from the road. But when you come closer, it is actually not there, but it's a painting on the road. What happens is, in these kind of 3D, the object which is much farther away, जैसे for example ये जो object है उसका जो last part है, इतना part होगा, will be the most distorted, will be the most stretched, which means ये जो मेरा painting दिख रहा है उसका, sorry not that much but almost इतना वाला जो part है, that will be the most distorted ones. उसका stretch, it will be stretched like quite longitudinally along this direction. I hope I'm clear right now. I hope a few people had asked me what is that they are not able to understand the question. I hope you are now able to understand the question. Is it fine?
Yes.
Okay. So now what will happen is, in a 3D, if you want to see, if you want to make a sketch of this kind of object, आपका ऊपर वाला part सबसे ज़्यादा stretch होगा. In this case, what you will need to find is which of the option has the most stretched part of the upper part. Which of the option has the most stretched upper part? This part which is marked here. इसमें सबसे ज़्यादा stretch B में दिख रहा है, which means option B will be the correct one. You don't need to look beyond that. The part which is away from the observer will be the most distorted, versus the part which is closer to the observer will be the least distorted. Because आपका eye level, जैसे आप ये इंसान को यहाँ से, sorry 1 second, this person will actually be looking at this object, which means itna jo half part hai, which is half frame, will be the maximum distortion. Minimum distortion will come in the later half of it. So you don't need to worry about whether or not the bottom part is correct or not. You need to worry more about the top part, which is where the maximum distortion is going to happen. In case of option A में bottom part is more distorted, it should not be the case. Option B में the top part is most distorted, should be the case. And C or D, again, D में the bottom part is focused a lot. And even with option C, it looks roughly the same, which means sketch cannot be the same as how it appears in 3D. So in this case, option B will be the correct one. कुछ doubt है इसमें? Any doubts? Any questions you have in this? Any questions? Okay, fine.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, why the upper portion should be distorted more?
Because if you see the sketch of that human that I drew, the upper part, which is this much part, will fall. This part will fall in this part, जो सबसे ज्यादा दूर है इंसान से. अगर आपको when a person is which means that is farther away, because it's farther away from the viewing plane, the part which is closer to you will always appear normal, kind of normal, not exactly how it is, but kind of normal to this person. If you want this part to look to fit into the picture frame of that exact thing, you have to stretch it ताकि ऊपर से मैं देखूं उसको, और maybe human perspective में देखूं तो, see what happens in human perspective is the like even when you start drawing tiles, for instance, okay, how do I, 1 second. No. So if I were to draw a sketch or a view of how a room would appear, And if I were to draw that tiles here, what I will draw is the tiles which are closer to that frame, they will be closer, versus the tiles which are nearer to the object, they appear to be bigger, or equivalent to the actual size. So because in perspective, as the objects go farther away, their actual size will reduce. I mean, perceived size will reduce, not their actual size will reduce, but but what the viewer sees gets reduced as the objects go farther away from the perspective. So that's where you have to, as for farther objects in 3D art, that's where you have to make it more bigger, ताकि वो actual size जैसा दिखे. Are you making sense? Am I making sense or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So in tiles also, like when you draw perspective view, जो दूर वाले tiles हो आप naturally छोटा करोगे, versus नजदीक वाले जो है वो actual size के करोगे. So I am not interested in drawing. If I want to see it in perspective, and if I make the same tile size of farther away, then it will naturally appear smaller to me. But मेरे को वो अगर बड़ा दिखाना है, then I will use a bigger tile there. तो मेरे को वो actual size जैसा perspective में दिखेगा. Shrishti, ma'am, in 3D we have to see from top first, then the other side. Shrishti, I didn't get your question. Shrishti is.
जब अपन नोटिस कर रहे हैं तो पहले अपन को टॉप से देखना होता है, लाइक फिर फ्रंट और बैक देखना होता है.
I don't get it, but see, this is a 3D art. So here I'm more worried about how the object will appear when I'm standing and when I'm standing here in a perspective. So when I draw the upper view, when I draw the plan view or the sketch of how will this kind of a drawing be made, ताकि मैं सामने से perspective में देखूं तो मेरे को actual object दिखे, which means I will have to distort and stretch the upper part, the farther away part, not the upper part, but the part which is farther away from the observer. I don't know if I made sense or not. Are you clear, or are you not? Are you still confused? Hello? Is it still confusing?
No, ma'am, it's clear.
Clear? Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So here a kind of an object is shown, which is this weird form. This object is rotated along the axis of rotation to create a circle. What you have to find is what will be the top view of this object when it is rotated along this axis of circulation, axis of revolution. Along this axis, along the center, this whole object is rotated, ताकि वो plan में ऐसे circle दिखेगा with some kind of dents and indents because of these kind of edges that are formed. Kavya, correct answer. Yesha, wrong answer. Khushbu, wrong answer. Rishabh, correct answer. Khushbu, wrong answer. Riya, wrong answer. Vaibhavi, wrong answer. Meera, right answer. Tanvi, Manush, right answer. Sanchi, wrong answer. Diya, wrong answer. Anvi, wrong answer. Mukshil, wrong answer. Palak, wrong answer. Yesha, wrong answer. Trisha, wrong answer. Trisha, wrong answer. I'm sorry for mispronunciation. Shrujal, right answer. Heel, wrong answer. You, correct answer. All right. One second. Real source song layout. The Darsh wrong. Darsh and Lavia wrong answer. In this case, the correct answer is option B. Why option B? Because the edges which will be used, ये जो blue line आप देख रहे हो ना, वो internal lines भी दिखा रही है मेरे को. तो what I'm going to look at the object from is the top view. I'm not going to look at the object from the bottom. I will be looking at the object from the top. So if I were to look at the object from the top, which are the lines which will form the edges? I will first ask that question. The lines which will the curves or the lines or the edges that will form the plan or the lines in the plan view will be this kink, this edge which is jutting out, this edge which is jutting out, and the last edge which is jutting out. How many lines are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which means this circle will have only 5 lines, not more than 5 lines. अभी 5 lines A में नहीं है, B में कितनी lines है? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which can be correct. C में 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. C can also be correct. And D 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. D भी गलत. D गलत आएगा क्योंकि उसमें 6 है. So I am now left between B and C. Now how do I negate? I negate it by looking at the relative distances. How do I look at the relative distances? Now look at the first distance which is the shortest. उसका double होगा तो इतना हो जाएगा. Which means the distance between the center and the first line and the first line and the second line. So this distance, जो center वाला distance आएगा, which is almost half of what is the distance between. One second, let me draw it on this. ये वाला जो distance है, that is half of this distance, of this total distance. Because मेरा यहाँ पे ये जो पूरा diameter बनेगा, that diameter is equivalent to this distance, which is half of the distance between the first line and the second line, which is not happening in option C. Option C में वो same है. This radius and this radius, they are the same. So option C गलत आएगा. Option A and option D I have already negated because of the number of edges. So the correct option is option B. Any doubts, any questions here?
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, how you counted these 5 lines?
These 5 lines?
Yes, ma'am.
Because मैं ऊपर से देखती हूँ, so I won't be able to perceive this curve. This curve which I find here, वो मेरे को प्लान में कर्व की तरह ही रीड होगा, वो मेरे को एज की तरह नहीं डिफाइन होगा. What defines an edge is this kink which is formed and this difference of line, this big line which is formed here. I'll just erase one part here, वो वाला. वहां पे that one number वाला I have drawn, वहां पे there is a big line which is formed. उससे वो naturally वो surface form हो जाएगा. So that's where I came across number 2 will be formed because of that kink which is there. Number 3, which is this line, will be formed because of the curve, because of this weird form which is coming out. So that's why this edge will form that. ये वाला again, because it's curve which is coming out will be formed here. This one which is going inside वो पीछे चला जाएगा, वो मुझे दिखेगा ही नहीं. So although it will be perceived, if I were to look at from the bottom, वो मुझे दिखेगा, but ऊपर से देख रही हूँ तो मुझे वो line hide हो जाएगा, वो पीछे, वो edge पीछे चला जाएगा इसके पीछे. So I won't be able to see it. That's why this edge, and then of course the last edge again, this will be formed because वो end है उसका. Is that clear? Why is
Yes.
it B and not C? Sanchi. I just explained Sanchi. So what I said was why B and why not C is because all you have to check is this distance. इसका जो radius, इसका या फिर इसका जो diameter है, that diameter is equal to half of the diameter, half of the distance which is there between the first and the second line, which is actually happening the case here. Iska jo diameter, this edge will be, when it's rotated, it will become double size, which is the diameter. So मतलब ये जो edge है, वो ऐसे semicircle होके ऐसे पूरा circle बनेगा. Which means this distance and this wala distance is the same if you look at actually, if you actually compare. Which is actually happening in B and C में नहीं हो रहा है. C में आप देखो तो इसका जो रेडियस है वो इनर सर्कल का जो रेडियस है और जो डिस्टेंस बिटवीन फर्स्ट एंड सेकेंड लाइन है वो सेम है, which is not the case. That's why B and not C. Just by comparing the center से first line का distance and center से second line का distance. Am I clear, Sanchi? All right. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions or doubts? All right. There's a fill in the blank which is there. You have to keep the sentence grammatically correct as fill in the blanks, which should be grammatically correct as well as meaningful. ये जो है, this is a starting, okay? So this should be a second line. Dash the facts. She proceeded with her decision, finally ending up with a dash situation. This is the first word, okay? There has to be an enter here, but because of some error, वो नहीं आया है. Here, correct answer. Anvi, correct answer. Vishwa, correct answer. Kavya, wrong answer. Tanvi, Aditya, wrong answer. Diya, correct answer. Vaibhavi, wrong answer. Rishabh, correct answer. Riya, wrong answer. Kushbu, wrong answer. Manush, wrong answer. Sachi, correct answer. Shrujal, wrong answer. Second. Okay, the correct answer here is option D. Notwithstanding the facts, she proceeded with her decision, finally ending up with a sad situation. It fits up correctly. Now let me phrase it using the other options. Nevertheless, the facts, she proceeded with her decision, finally ending up with a happy situation. It kind of misfits nevertheless, the facts, irrespective. Okay, so few people are writing, but okay, Manush, I don't get it.
Nah.
Mira, you need to mute yourself. Yeah, thanks.
Nah. I want to ask one question.
Huh?
In this,
Huh?
I did option D.
Yeah, option D is correct.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, there are a lot of people who are answering, so there might be some mistake, but option D is the correct one. Okay. Manush, I didn't get your query, but answer D is I mean, I don't get it, but option D is the correct one, okay? Yeah. The next one, option B. Apparently, the facts, she proceeded with her decision, finally ending up with a initially situation. Wrong, completely wrong, not fitting. However, the facts, she proceeded with her decision, finally ending up with a noteworthy situation. That's weird again. This kind of makes logically correct the last one, which is meaningful also. Although grammatically, the other two options, A and C, might be correct grammatically, but in terms of creating a meaningful sentence, they kind of fail in the second part, which is meaningful. So that's why we'll go with option D. You don't have to stick here only to grammatically correct, but you have to stick here to also looking at whether or not logically or even does it make any sense, this kind of statement. Okay. All right. Okay, we'll just take the last one here. This is the last one. It's very simple. So what you're given is you have to look at it through an emergency evacuation situation for a household in India. What it says that the height at what is the height at which the inside latch of an exit door, which is mainly used for emergency evacuation, should be finalized. It is required to disallow opening of the door accidentally by children. So children should not be able to open the door. Which option will determine the height at which the latch should be fixed? Assume the height of the tallest child is lower than that of the shortest adult. The height of the tallest child is lower than that of the shortest adult, which means in the household, the shortest adult will be taller than the even the tallest child. That's what it means. Very quickly answer. Give me your answers very quickly. Yes, correct. Anvi, Aditya, Lavya, Rishabh, Heer, Riya, all correct answer. Shimoli, wrong answer. Tanvi, Kavya, correct. Vaibhavi, correct. In this case, Meera, wrong answer. In this case, the correct answer will be the height of the shortest adult, because it's already told that first condition is the child should not be able to open it. And the next condition is, anyways, I don't have to worry about the height of the tallest child, because it's said that the shortest adult in the family is taller than taller than the heighted child. So I don't have to worry much of the child part. If I just stick to the height of the shortest adult in the family, I can determine the height of the latch. Okay. I just have to look at the two conditions. It cannot be opened by children, and the next condition which helps is the last statement. Assume the height of the tallest child is lower than that of the shortest adult, which says that option B is the correct one. All right. Any questions here? Okay, we'll stop this session now. Okay, see you.